One. All right, we are here for segment number 2, and this is something that is near and dear to mine and Mike's heart because we flip, we also buy and renovate. We are not turnkey per se, turnkey investors. So we are always looking to unearth that value. If you guys qualify and try to unearth that value, one of the things that you will find as you're new to the game, not much has changed if you're new. If you've been doing this as long as Mike and I have, it's 100% different game than it was even 12 months ago. So
yeah, crazy.
Michael, talk to me. What are we seeing, my friend? Because I can tell you what I'm seeing. It's not fun.
Well, I mean, the first time this hit me, and I think we talked about it, it was about a year ago. It was the first time lumber spiked.
Yes.
Right. And, you know, I buy a lot of properties. And one of the things that often comes with these fixers is a backyard that's great, but the fence is, I don't know what it is, but the fence is always falling down. It's just like, it's always falling down.
Always.
It's just, I mean, it's like, I can't buy one with a good fence. What the heck? But you know, they're quarter acre lots, right? So they're, you know, 8,500 to 10,000 square feet. A lot of that is the backyard. So, you know, for California, that's a pretty big deal. It's not 2 acres like New Hampshire or 5 or whatever you have. So we fence them. Yeah, we've often one of my big surprises, sorry to digress, when I went to Minneapolis the first time, is they just have backyards that like run the whole neighborhood, right? They don't have fences. It was like, where the hell's the fence?
Yeah.
But anyways, you know, stupid California things, I guess. But anyways, I digress. So the first time this hit me is when I had a fence quote. Because again, at this time I hadn't been in Fresno for a year, but we're still doing deals. And I got a fence quote that was like $6,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I called them up. I'm like, guys, I don't need a new fence around the entire backyard. I just want, you know, the left side or the right side or whatever.
Right.
And they're like, that is the right side. I'm like, did somebody do the math wrong? Because $6,000 is supposed to get me an entire fence.
Yeah.
Not a third.
Yeah.
No, lumber cost is up. We're not even sure we can get it all. I'm like, well, what the hell, right? So that was my first experience with what's going on. Then I was doing some remodels, and you know, I wanted to put in new windows. And this house was built in the 1920s, so not standard windows.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing the project, and I go out there, and I'm like, why is there still plywood on the? Why? What's going on? Well, the window's on back order. I'm on back order. It's been like 4 weeks. Oh, we're not expecting it for 6 more weeks. I'm expecting this thing sold in 6 weeks. What the hell? I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, you guys got to tell me these things, because you know we run on, you know, I don't know, 12-week cycles or whatever, 10, 12 weeks. And I'm like, well, guess what we're gonna do? We're not gonna put in the same, you know, big ass oddly shaped window. We're gonna make it one that we can go to Home Depot and slap it in there. So frame that in, put in a standard window. Let's go, right? I mean, there's all kinds of things going on in the game. So more expensive, time consuming, dead days. And then lastly, for me, one thing you'll learn in real estate is there's some things that when they go bad, they go bad. Yeah. And the big one for me is roofs, right? Because we don't have snow. We got wet and dry. And when it's wet, right? Mm-hmm. It just dumps. And so I have an 18 unit building, all 1 story. It's built like a J, right? So I think it's 10 2 bedrooms going like this. I think it's 4 2 bedrooms going like this. And then whatever less, I guess that's 4 going this way. And in between there's carports and all these things. So it's the biggest roof I own.
Okay.
And I think each 2 bedroom is like 700 square feet or 7.25 or something. So I had a quote for this to repair the roof like 18 months ago, actually probably is 2.5 years ago. And it was like 40 grand. I think it was 42 grand all in. So I just had it re-quoted. I just got the quote yesterday. And to say I was shocked is an understatement.
And how many units is that?
18.
8. And that's 18 that are exposed to the roof?
Correct. All 18.
And they're 700 square foot units?
Correct.
So that is $75,000.
They're amazing. 76 grand.
There you go.
I don't know about you, but when I got that phone call, I had to take a step back. The price doubled, basically.
Yeah.
since 2019, pre this nastiness.
Yep. Yeah.
70s. You better have reserves, folks. If you got big long roofs, believe me, I wish at this point I wish it was 2 stories. Because it'd be less roof.
Yeah, it'd be about 37.5.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be half. It'd be top, solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, $76,000. And we've got to do it. We'll probably do it in the summer where we're hoping to get a little bit of a break. It'll get us through this season, but it's going to get done.
Yeah.
So that quote, you nailed it. 75.
I did. So here's the math. Here's how I did it. So if your unit's 700 square feet and there's 18 of them that are all exposed to the roof, so that per unit, I figure, and the math is a little bit off because you have the
peak. Yeah.
The peak, right. So, but I figured call it 700 square.
Okay.
Okay. Then seven. So a square is 10 by 10 feet.
Okay.
So it's 1 square of roof, which means you're basically 7 square of roof per unit, just rough math.
Yeah.
Times 18.
Yep.
Which is 126.
Yeah.
And then because I didn't know what the pitch was, instead of counting for 500 a foot, I counted at 600 a square.
There you go.
That's all I got, 75.6. So I was off $400. There you go.
So I guess my guy's not ripping me off.
No.
I assumed he was ripping me off.
Nope. It's pretty right. Yep. Yeah. Cause you're probably using.
Well, I'm not happy about that. I'm even less happy now. I was hoping I was going to save 10 grand by beating on people.
Yeah. Don't worry. He's not going to be vacationing beside you in the islands.
He's not going to roll up in a BMW like, thanks, Mike, you paid for that.
Yeah. He's not going to look at your 500 model and go, that's a lame model. I have the 600. Yeah. Yeah, that's not happening, but that's the math. And that's the crazy thing. So, my story was much the same. I've used a typical carry number that I've built my business around for 10 years. And so I did my carry number, and we're literally into the second phase. We're into the second phase of this house, the roof, which I did my math on because of different peaks and valleys and ebb flows and dormers and things like that. I was like, yeah, that's right around that's an $8,000 roof. Okay. It was a $10,000 roof. Okay. All right. Yeah. I have a contingency. I have $100,000 budget. I got $10,000 of contingency in that budget. So, okay.
20% gone.
Yeah. $2,000 out of that. Then I'm like, all right, my carry number on windows is, about $325 a window because I buy a high-end window.
That whole snow thing. You want to,
yeah. Well, you want the low E you want the low E argon gas. And then in particular in this area, you want to go triple plane or STC, which is sound transmission quality.
Wow.
Or control. And the reason that you do that is because there's a train that goes through the middle of the town. And this is a little bit further away, but you can actually not hear it with these windows. If you have regular windows, you can hear it. So it helps for tenant turnover. So we'll put a nicer window in. Long story short is I'm carrying my number 325, which has been my number for years and years. And I put the budget together in February, and we just went to go buy those windows, and they were $536 a window.
Ooh, now we're talking 70% bump.
And I'm like, crap.
How many windows? There's a lot of windows.
26.
That's a lot of windows.
There goes my contingency fund.
Hey, honey, turn over the seat cushions. We need to find some more money.
I was like, well, so Ash, I think you might need a nurse again. Just one day.
Yeah, one more time.
Just nursing one day a week. That's all you gotta do. Just one day a week in the hospital. So the thing that I would tell people is even seasoned veterans like myself and Mike, and we have formulas and algorithms. Everything.
I'm within 10%. It's been a while since I've been off by more than 10%.
Yes.
And you're right. I've got to go. I mean, the fence. It's funny. Fence, lumber, roofs, windows. It's like, what the hell?
Yep. Fence, lumber, roofs, windows. Yeah. So roofs, windows, wiring. We rewire a lot of stuff out here because the buildings are so old that a lot of times you've lived through gas lamps.
Oh, Jesus.
No joke. Lines for gas lamps.
I think I've seen that once.
Yeah. Seen that. We see that 30% of the time, at least.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. They're not running still. They're just
no. Lights for gas. No. So the lines in there for the gas lamps are there. And then typically you'll see knob and tube wiring.
I've seen that.
Yep. So we have that a lot. So you'll have that a lot. So you'll see knob and tube.
Yeah. Just so you know, folks, if it's there, rip it out, even if it's not used.
Absolutely.
Get it out.
Get it out. Especially because you don't know if they tried to tie into it another way and cause a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Rip it out. In fact, insurance companies, a lot of insurance companies won't even insure you if you have it.
No.
So you don't want to find out because of the fire that you did have it.
Yeah, that's good.
Do that.
Get it out.
And then you go to cloth, and then you go to what's called BX, which is wiring with metal wrapped around it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
actually pretty good stuff because it's easy to thread through a house.
And
And then you go to the more modern stuff called Romex,
okay.
which is the sheathing.
See, all this stuff I don't know. I just get a quote and approve it.
I need to look at some of those quotes, Michael.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so so as an example, 14-2 wiring, which is what's used for light switches and outlets and things like that. In some states it's 12-2, but in a lot of states it's 14. But 14-2 went from $38 per 250-foot roll, and you could usually do an entire house with about 8 rolls of that.
Okay.
Now it's just about 100 a roll.
Wow.
Yeah.
250%.
Yes.
Well, that's and again, why is this all important? Because again, these are numbers that we need to change because, you know, maybe not change this deal, but going forward, we have to buy better.
You have to buy better. But B is if you find something that is actually 100% done, it might actually be worth more.
That's why in the spreadsheet, we have this make ready number.
That's right.
Sometimes turnkey is the best investment. Not always, but sometimes.
Sometimes it is. And now with the inflation being so high over what it was, because lumber did get back down to 400. Now it's back up to 1200 again.
It's up again. Yeah.
And so we're looking at a second floor of a house that we priced 120 days ago, adding a second floor.
Oh no.
And it went from, I think pricing on the project went from 50 to 80. And it just sucks because it's 30 grand that I lose. It's just, there's, it's like my return on capital is going to be worse on that deal. Now, don't cry for me, Argentina. It's still 21% after I'm paying 80.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would have preferred to pay 50.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're, as you say, you're pregnant already. So it's, you're going to be adding that floor.
Exactly. I'm so showing too.
Yeah.
So any other, Michael, any other thoughts on projects, what we're seeing in that market and what people really need to watch out for? I mean, I think the illustrations we gave are there.
Yeah, I think the important thing is there's so much going on right now in the real estate game. A lot of people are talking about rent.
Yeah.
And we've talked about rent ourselves, right? Rents are exploding, but realize there's this other factor that you need to be prepared for. You need to answer, you need to network, grow your network, learn, get experience, kick rock. To go back to video 1, go walk projects in your area, go see other projects going on. You just got to see it, touch it, feel it. Lots of things are changing. Lots of stuff are more expensive. Yes, income on rent, but also expenses and then taxes and all this stuff's going up. You got to be active. You got to do the work.
Yeah. A lot of places will try to add value with a deck because it was an inexpensive ad. Right?
Yeah.
Used to be, not anymore, because a 2x4x8 a pressure treated 2x4x8 used to cost about $4.
Yeah.
Now they're $9. They're $9. And so when I see somebody, I made a mistake on that board, you owe me $9.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it wasn't like, $4. No, it's $9 now. And plus the delivery.
That's lunch.
It's like before you know it, you're like $10 what's called a stick. Everyone calls them a stick. So it's like $10 a stick. And you're like, holy Toledo. So yeah, it's crazy. So I think we covered all the project stuff. Like I said, I really appreciate you doing that because you've done flips. I've done flips. I'm in the midst of projects now, and I am absolutely mortified on these numbers. Like I said, the ones I put together in February are so wildly off, and they were good then. And they're like, yeah, Matt, that's what you used to pay, but that's not what it costs anymore.
It's been 12 months, Matt.
Yeah.
Jerome exactly. Powell was wrong.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, get me for 8 or 10 points, but 60, 50, 70. Did you get that raise? Where's that money going? So yeah, it's just absolutely nuts. So Mike, tell everybody where they can find you, my friend.
Go to your Google search bar, put in One Rental at a Time. You should see books, website, YouTube channel, Instagram. And again, I will go live Saturday morning, most Saturdays, 8 a.m. We'll go for an hour. I am not brave enough to go until the questions stop like the lumberjack here. I will give you an hour because at 9 o'clock, I talk to my students for a half hour, which I thoroughly enjoy.
We'll see if Dion can keep up. I'm rallying an entire army of people to keep on asking questions to see how long he'll actually go.
Well, he does have one advantage, right? Because he's on the West Coast.
He does. He does.
Yes. Yeah.
But your voice can only last
buffer.
so long. I know that I started to tap out about 5.5 hours. I was like, okay, that's a little too much. Yeah.
No chance. I will not be doing that ever.
You
I cannot be
know.
goaded into that.
You might feel a little bit saucy in your new office and be like, we're going to do a 24-hour Jerry telethon.
It's actually interesting to think about.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
but I'm gonna get helpers. Don't worry. From that 2 to 4 a.m. Lumberjack. What are you? It's
Yeah,
5
sure.
o'clock for you.
Yeah, I'll do that shift. That's fine. I'll probably have it with a baby in my hand. But
right.
yeah, that's
real life.
Enough. Yeah. So as we always say, we try and create great content for you guys. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and most importantly, if you know of other people that are considering real estate, share the video.
Share
the video. This is going to help. I promise you're not creating your own competition. You're not that good yet, but share the video. Mike, thanks so much for the time. We'll see you in segment 3.